Oh, undoubtedly. I mean, actually, this story starts in the USA. And basically, what we were seeing in that short clip of the film was a number of farmers being interviewed. And they were saying, we're being paid to trash our crops. Uh, and then we saw someone in a container port, a very large one at Chicago, I believe, saying, we're being told not to move anything. Let it sit, was the instruction they were getting. And then we saw someone else being told that to dump his oil because there's an excess of oil on the market and they want to keep the prices up. So you must dump it. So you saw him dumping it along a track by his farm. Now, really, when you look at this, it's actually all connected up with the attempt to create an artificial shortage of food because there isn't a shortage. The crops have been very good mostly this year, and there is no shortage, but there is an attempt under the Great Reset to show there's a food shortage. Foot and mouth was a massive horror story, a carnage of destruction, all for no real reason. It doesn't remind you of something, doesn't it?
You know, doesn't it just?
And that came out of a situation, it's again where, yes, you take a certain modeling process. How many cattle need to be killed over how long of time in order to clear the country of the potential foot and mouth problem? Well, you know, was it ever analyzed that there actually was a foot and mouth problem? No, it never really was. And that reminds us of something, doesn't it, too? But the farmers, many farmers committed suicide during this because they saw their entire farms ruined, destroyed, their whole income gone up the chimney, gone up the, burnt off, quite literally, along with their animals. And they never recovered from it. Most of these farmers never recovered. The suicide rate went up to one farmer a week committing suicide.
Jeez.
It's an absolute horror story. And I think the point here is that when we start doing our proper research and we start looking back historically into the events, particularly in the last 20 odd years, we see that these modeling processes have all been based on faulty information and probably faulty modeling equipment and software. Because look at global warming modeling, and look at the horror stories that were supposed to have already happened. I remember we were told that there would already be sea level rises that were going to swamp a lot of small islands in the Pacific Ocean. There haven't been any. All the most recent information being supplied by the appropriate organizations. So there's absolutely no sea rise, and so on and so forth. Global temperature rises, no, actually not. Very minor, small changes here and there, yes, but nothing remotely like the computer model produced. And finally, the COVID. So we have to reach the conclusion, do we not, that this either is gross inefficiency and stupidity, or there's a plan.